What's up, guys? Welcome to the room. We are uh, we are gonna watch until Jerusalem time sunset right now. That's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna talk a little bit. Of course, it is currently my time, 10:16 sunset my time, in Middle America. Will be in Jerusalem, um, about 10:27. So I have about 12 minutes to go, and then we're gonna be at about 12 minutes to go, and we will be at Jerusalem sunset. And for those people who haven't heard me say yet, that the sunset is connected to the twinkling of an eye, and in Jerusalem, that is when the day changes. It's really, I mean, it's backwards to how we do it over here in America, because we don't go by any of that. So I'm learning as I go along too. Time differences where I'm at, I'm 8 hours behind Jerusalem time. So again, like I said before, just go on Google, figure out where you are compared to Jerusalem time. And again, we are watching today, September 24th, according to Jerusalem time. Okay. Now, do we know that that is the clock that God is going by? We can only um, do an educated guess as to if that's correct or not. Because just like the gospel, it went only to the Jews. It went to the Jews first, but then it went to the Gentiles. Well, could that have some type of principle to how God sees the world and stuff like this, and time and things like this? It was based off of Jerusalem, but now could it be based off of the whole 24 time zones in America? Because there's 24 time zones. I don't know. I don't know. But we will find out in the end. So thank you guys for joining me. I have can't see very well. That's why I do that. My eyes are not very good. Um, but there's a lot of things that are going through my mind today and yesterday. Of course, I have been waiting to come to these days, Feast of Trumpets 2025, to watch for the rapture for almost 3 years. Back in 2023, you can see the videos on my channel. Um, I was being led to these days, almost 3 years ago, through data and information, things that I was finding through lots of things. Not through anybody, for what anybody said, not through any of that, just data that I was finding on my own, information about the Feast of Trumpets, what it represents, numbers, calculations, gematria, all kinds of different things that were leading me here almost 3 years ago. And so here I am, and there was a lot of people that recognized um, the Feast of Trumpets. Whether it be right or wrong remains to be seen. Regardless, I seen online and everywhere that even atheists are talking about it, right? So it's kind of interesting the way that God can use everything. You know, the rapture is now, at least, it might not be, in the perfect light, but the rapture is known now about people who never even thought about the rapture. Atheists, they go, what is the rapture? Why is everybody talking about a rapture? Agnostics, New Age, all these people. And what's the Feast of Trumpets? What are these days, appointed days? So again, God will use everything and turn it for good, because we all don't have perfect understanding, you know? And again, I know there's people out there that are going to edit and chop and clip and paste every little thing that I say and others say, and they're going to try to make us look as bad as they possibly can with whatever we say. Because literally, if you nitpick every person's word in videos, you can edit it, stop it, say things, make them look really bad when they're really, they might not look that bad. Some people do are really bad. Um, and I hate to say it, but like if the rapture doesn't happen, that guy Joshua, like I don't think there's any getting out of his situation because he said some fantastical stuff, man. Like he's talking about Jesus Christ, talking to him and telling him all these things personally. And, how can you recover from that? You can't. So the conclusion there would be either he's talking to devils or he just made up the story. My guess is he probably just made it up. And I talked about that a few weeks ago. Again, I came to my conclusions through data, research, information. And if the rapture doesn't happen, then it's just my interpretation of what I saw is not perfect. So I will continue to watch appointed times, appointed days. I already have in mind the day of the flood, which is Cheshvan 17 on the biblical calendar, and then we also have Yom Kippur coming up, which to me is, I mean, anything's possible. You have Yom Kippur, you have Tabernacles, the Day of Atonement and Tabernacles. Those are two of God's appointed days. Could it be? Maybe. But I like the idea of the day of the flood because that makes a lot of sense. Jesus said it would be as the days of Noah. Matthew 24. He also talked about um, they'll be eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the flood takes them all away. That's kind of interesting because the day of the flood it was like the days of Noah. So there's some connections there too. And but we're here right now, and we'll be there possibly in a month, almost a month and a half from now, if this day passes. But we will see. So I'm at 10:22 my time. Um, about 10:27 my time. So we will see. And I wanted to say, I had a lot of things on my mind. I wanted to say also that thank you guys for joining me. I also wanted to say that people who are saying, like I said in my other videos, that we know it's not going to be on these days, are literally saying the same thing as people saying we know it is going to be on these days. Do you guys understand that? Make sure to remember that if anybody sees this video, we have people out there saying we know it's not going to be on those 2 days. Well, they're literally saying the same thing as people saying we know it's going to be on these 2 days. Because you cannot say in one breath, nobody knows when it is, it's going to be random to us. And then in the same breath say, we know it's not going to be on those 2 days. You're literally contradicting yourself. You're literally saying the same thing as other people. You can say, we don't really think it's going to be on those days. A very high possibility it's not going to be on those days. But you can't say, we know it's not going to be on those days. And there are people out there that made videos in advance and everything that are talking about like, oh, these videos aren't going to age well because we know the rapture isn't going to be on these days. Well, how can you know? If nobody can know according to their own rationality, according to their own logic, they're contradicting themselves, saying that we know it's not going to be now, and then in the same breath saying nobody can know when it is. No, you're contradicting yourself. You see what I'm saying? So just remember that with these people who are going to make videos, mock and scoff and all these things. It is 10:23 right now. We got 4 minutes. 4 minutes until sunset in Jerusalem time. And we'll go a few minutes past that. I had to take down my last video because it wouldn't post right. I don't know. My live streams on YouTube never work right. I can never put on the comments. I can never bring people up. I think I have to download uh, some software or something. Somebody said. So that's a bummer. But and again, it's all about a person's background. You can scroll down my channel, look at my posts. You know, they're analytical, their data, their information. Maybe my interpretation of some of my information that led me to this day could have been uh, misinterpreted, but still, man, I'm not out here making up big fantastical stories. You know, I'm not lying to people. You know, and basically, if the rapture doesn't happen today, you know, that's again, there's a certain somebody out there that got very popular on YouTube by making up very fantastical stories. And either he's making up the fantastical stories or he's talking to devils. My guess is he probably just made that stuff up, but remains. Well, I believe that anyways. Even if the rapture does happen, that's what I believe about that guy, man. I mean, come on, man. Talk about Jesus coming to you, talking to you. Hey, buddy, was it? You know, like normally and stuff. It's like I don't believe that. You know. So we are at 10:25. We have 2 more minutes until sunset in Jerusalem, but it will still be 9:24 where I'm at for another 13 and a half hours about. So, and again, whose time zone are we really going by? You know, we don't exactly know if we should be going by Jerusalem time zone, but that would be the best educated guess to go by. Another trend is that I see is that people that are believers are actually like mocking the rapture, right? It's not that they're only mocking the people who believe the rapture was going to happen or is going to happen right now. They're literally mocking the rapture itself, like making videos like they're floating in the sky. Look, it's me in the rapture and stuff like this. I'm like, wow, this is really bringing out the ignorance in people, right? It's like it's one thing to not agree with people, but you're mocking your own Bible. Like you're mocking something that's in the Bible that God tells you to comfort one another with. Now you're mocking it. See, I don't even know if they realize how far they're taking it, you know? We are at 10:26, 10:27. So I think, according to my understanding, right now is Jerusalem sunset time. 10, right? Right? 11:27, 12:27, 1:27, 2:27, 3:27, 4:27, 5:27, 6:26. Oh, oh no, no, no. Wait. Oh no, no, no. We still got one, two, three. We still got 5 minutes. My bad. Because their sunset is at 6:33 today, 6:33. So we're at ah 10:27. So wait. 11:27, 12:27, 1:27, 2:27, 3:27, 4:27, 5:27, 6:27. Yeah, we got 5 minutes still. My bad. I don't know why my math was off. See, I'm human, right? I can make mistakes. My interpretation, what I'm thinking, right? So we have about 5 minutes. Now we have about 4 minutes. But yeah, I've had a lot of thoughts. You know, it's been a bummer for me, kind of because you know I've been waiting for these days for almost 3 years, and I wanted to enjoy watching. You know, I wanted to be hopeful in my watching and all these things. But when I got online, I'm just like, dang man, before even the Feast of Trumpets, you know, basically started, people were just hating. I'm like, really? These people are hating with all that hate. They're saying it's not. I'll see. I mean, you know, even you had people who predicted the rapture wrong like 20 times, hating. Like, I'll see you on the 25th. Well, I thought nobody can know when it is. Oh, but now you know when it's not going to be. But I thought you said nobody knows when it is. So how can you know it's not going to be? See, they don't know. They don't know. But yeah, it's funny to me, guys like Steve Fletcher, who's guessed the rapture wrong like 20 times. And then he's like, "See you on the 25th." Like, "Oh yeah, all of a sudden you're righteous." Right? Like all of a sudden you have a leg to stand on if we're wrong. Like you've been wrong like 20 times, dude, in the past 10 years. And now all of a sudden you're going to chastise us if we're wrong? I'm telling you, man, people are so strange. They're so hypocritical. You know, it's like wherever they can get in to feel good about themselves, that's where they're going to get in at, right? And again, if we are wrong, one thing I'm going to learn from this is to have more patience with others, you know, because sometimes you need to be humbled and you need to be wrong sometimes so that you can have more patience with others because you could say, well, I remember when I was wrong and I really thought I was right. So that's one good thing that I could take away from this. And I hope everybody else out there takes good things away from this too. And we're learning a lot about how people truly are. Steve Fletcher, he truly is a piece of crap. He truly is a piece of crap. There's a guy out there, Bruce Peterson. He is truly a piece of crap. Steve Fletcher has guessed like 20 wrong rapture dates, and all of a sudden he's mocking me and others out there because he thought that the rapture wasn't going to happen. Like, only a piece of crap does that. Bruce Peterson, he was already making videos before the Feast of Trumpets was over because apparently he knew that it wasn't going to happen. Well, Bruce, if you knew it wasn't going to happen, then you must know when it is. Because people like him and others say, well, we can't have any idea when it is. Well, how can you know when it isn't then? You see, these people are so contradicting. And people like Bruce Peterson and Can a woman, who's like, she's an idiot and she is a piece of crap too. These people are like walking pieces of crap. All they do is sit around, edit, clip, snip every little thing that people say and every little thing that they write, and they criticize them about it. That's all they do. If you go to their page, they don't they don't teach anything. They don't put their neck out and say, talk about anything that's happening in the world. They don't even care. These are the type of people that think that, oh, it's no big deal that the United Nations just met all day yesterday and the day before, and all the things they're talking about, UFOs and aliens and World War III. These are the type of people, Bruce Peterson and Candace, that sit back and go, oh, it seems like a normal day to me, right? There's nothing really going on. Go to their pages. They don't post anything. They don't talk about anything. Noticing the times that we're in. All they do is sit back and edit and clip and snip and take every single thing that people say and everything single thing that people write and criticize them about it. And they're total pieces of crap. It's like human garbage. So we're at 10:32, one more minute, and we will be in Jerusalem sunset. And yeah, like I said, I grow to have patience with others, but not with people like that. Not with people who are just crap like that. You know what I mean? It's like, how can you have patience for a devil? And it's like a little different there. I mean, literally. Okay, so we're at 10:33. So round about Jerusalem sunset time right now. Again, the sunset is likened to a twinkling of an eye. So we're just watching. Like literally, Bruce Peterson told me in my comments like everything's gonna be normal. 26, or he said we're still gonna be here 26, 27, etc. 2026, 27. So apparently Bruce knows that the rapture isn't gonna happen this year or next year. But Bruce, how can you know? I thought nobody can know. But he literally told me in my comment section, it's not gonna happen this year or next year. But he says that nobody can know when it is. That guy is such a piece of shit. These people are pieces of living shit. They are so contradictory, and they're holding you up, they're holding me up to standards that they don't keep themselves. Bruce Peterson doesn't keep his own standards. Candace does not keep her own standards. They're telling, well, Bruce in specific is saying that the rapture is not going to happen in 2026 or 2027. But in the same breath, he says, nobody can know when it's going to be. What a piece of shit. He is not holding up to his own standards. But yet he's going to sit there and make videos about everybody else. How, oh, we're hypocrites, or we're contradicting ourselves, or whatever they can come up with, whatever they can nitpick anybody about, and they're gonna do that to people. Their whole YouTube life is that. That's all their videos are. They're gonna record somebody and nitpick every single thing that they say. But yet them themselves, especially Bruce, but Candace too, Bruce totally contradicts himself. He literally told me he knows the rapture isn't going to happen this year or next year. And then he literally says that nobody can know when it is because he's a piece of shit. And all he's trying to do is come at people. That's all he does. That's all he does. You don't see any messages on Bruce's page, anything like that. You know, these people make me so mad because they don't stop and look in the mirror to see how that they're not perfect. So I hope I pointed that out to you guys. I actually accidentally made this video. I pressed it was for kids and now I cussed. That's not too good. Sorry, kids, if there's any kids out there. But anyways, man. So yeah, we are past Jerusalem sunset time by 2 minutes. And maybe that's the time we're supposed to go off. And maybe that's the time we're not supposed to go off. Either way, I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep looking at dates. This date, I was waiting for 3 years, and now it's, according to Jerusalem time, has passed. But again, not according to the time where I'm at. I'm still 924. So I will be doing my channel as usual, sharing what I learned, sharing what I can share. And there's going to be haters, there's going to be mockers, and there's going to be, just remember this, that humans are fallible. None of us are perfect. And when people are out there criticizing other people harshly for not fair reasons, then you should take a look at them. And like I said, you know, Bruce Peterson is totally contradicting himself. He says the rapture is going to happen this year or next year, but he doesn't know when it's going to happen. You know, only a piece of crap does something like that. Only a piece of crap can't look in the mirror and say, wait, what did I just say? You know, maybe Bruce Peterson should expose himself. Bruce, if you're watching, you piece of garbage, make a video about yourself, talking about how you're contradicting yourself. But will they do that? F no. Of course not. Bruce would never do that to himself. Candace would never make a video about herself. These people are garbage, man. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm still 924 where I'm at. I have about 104. And so, you know, I don't know what time zone everybody's at out there, probably different time zones. And I'm still, you know, my ears are still up, paying attention. And I'll always be paying attention as long as I can. And there's always going to be haters. So drink the haterade. Go ahead. God bless. Wait. And then another thing. Here's another thing. Here's a good one. There's a guy here. His name was, he came around out of nowhere. His channel name is just Destroying the Works of the Devil, right? And this guy's a total piece of garbage too. And how I know that is the way that he treated me a few months back. And I even recorded it and made a video and put it on my channel. He didn't know I was recording, but I have the right to record all my phone calls. And him and his friend Truth Speller, that's his friend's page, basically laughed at me, treated me like garbage, and hung up on me. Now they didn't know I was recording this, and I recorded them. So my whole point is these guys are pieces of shit too. And this guy Destroying the Works of the Devil came on my page, and he made a smart comment. Right? He made a little smarty comment about one of my 2025 Rapture Feast of Trumpets videos from 2023. But it's just ironic to me how these pieces of shit come out of the woodworks just to stick their head up above water to talk crap about you and then go back to where they came from under the rocks, right? It's like that's what garbage people do. They're pieces of crap themselves, but when they see an opportunity like a scavenger to scavenge, right? To say what they can about you because that's their nature, because they're pieces of crap, and then they go back to where they came from under the rock, right? That's what Bruce Peterson is. That's what Candace is. That's what this channel Destroying the Works of the Devil is. And that's what the channel Truth Speller is. They're all pieces of shit. They can all kiss my ass, and they're no good. So Bruce Peterson, you know, do what you got to do, bro. But you don't even make sense yourself. Talking about, the rapture ain't this year, it ain't next year, but nobody can know when it is. Well, you just told me when it isn't, so apparently you must know something. See, garbage people, garbage people, and I'm gonna expose them for what they truly are, because that's what they want to criticize me and be hypercritical of me and others out there. Well, what do you got? You got pieces of garbage coming out of the trash can to, criticize other people who are interested in knowledge and wisdom and learning and the rapture and all these things, and then they go back to the garbage can. It's like, nah, nah, nah. We're gonna talk about you and your garbage can, guys. So, anyways, thank you guys all. God bless the rapture. The rapture will come. It will happen. If you just take a look around, you see what is going on. You have to be deaf, dumb, and blind, or just in total denial to acknowledge the fact that it's about to hit the fan. Okay, they're all the governments of the world. They're all talking about UFO disclosure. They're softly, slowly conditioning people, aliens, UFOs. We know that the technology is out here for the mark of the beast. Um, we know that they're talking about World War III. They just had a huge United Nations meeting talking about, Trump basically got up there and disrespected all of the United Nations. I mean, it's all an act, right? They're all doing these things on purpose, and they're all in on it, right? But it's not an act. It is an act, the but what they're planning on doing, is going to really affect the whole world. They're talking about lockdowns. They're talking about another shot. If we were to just do what Bruce Peterson says and Candon says and all these pieces of shit say, then there would have been nobody exposing anything in 2020, 2021, 2022 about the shot, right? About, it's a total abomination. It kills people. It gives people stroke. There would have been nobody to expose that if we would just shut up like Bruce Peterson says, right? Or Candan says, because we were the ones sticking our neck out, warning people. Go on their page. Did they do any of that? Did Bruce Peterson post anything about don't take this, it's gonna destroy you? Did Candance? No, they didn't do anything. They didn't do nothing. I don't see any of that on their page. Me and others out there, we put hundreds of videos up. We warn people for a year, 2 years, still warning people sometimes. About all these things. Does Bruce and Candance talk about all the deceptions that are happening, all the deceptions that are coming? No, they don't do shit. Go to their pages. There's not shit on there. Why? Because they're pieces of shit, and they only stick their head out of the water to talk shit and then go back into their garbage cans because they're pieces of shit, garbage people that only are scavengers, and they're just scavengers. They're just catfish sucking out the bottom of the ground. That's all they are. They're not watchmen. They're not warning people. They're not telling people things that can help them, see, the deception that is going on around us, that is the entire government, all the governments of the world, the United Nations, the jab, the 5G towers around us, all this stuff. V's, the children that are giving the children autism, these certain shots, all this stuff, man. There's just a million things that we all talk about that they haven't said a word about on their YouTube channel. They haven't said anything about anything on their YouTube channel. They act as if everything is normal, everything is just going as planned, like we're gonna just be here and things are going to be running smoothly. They don't talk about anything that's actually happening and their thoughts on where this is all going. Why? Why? Because they're probably too scared to, or they're probably blind. They don't believe it's gonna happen. Bruce Peters go on his channel, he doesn't say nothing. It's silence. All he does is come out, make a video, somebody talk a bunch of crap, and then go back to the hole that he came from. It's like that's the type of people that they are, and probably a lot of people are that just talk crap. I know for a fact that the guy who talked crap about me treated me like garbage a few months back. Right? Him and his little buddy. They talk crap about me on the phone that they invited me on, and then they hung up on me for basically no reason because they don't care. That's how they do. He's just careless coming on my page, making a little smart comment, and then going back to where he came from. Because these people don't truly care about us. They don't care about us. They're scavengers. Destroying the works of the devil, you're a scavenger piece of shit. True speller, you're a scavenger piece of shit, fucking moron. You look like fucking Ned Flanders, little dorky ass motherfucker. You, Bruce Peterson, you need your fucking ass kicked because you're such a shit talker. But you probably never had that, but you need that to learn some respect. Fuck all you people, man. You guys are all pieces of shit. Canned ass, fucking hooker ass looking bitch. Fuck you. Go ahead and talk your shit, you fucking pieces of crap. Go back to the hole you guys came out of, man. Fucking no good pieces of shit.